Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stocks for Real, Sacrifice for Riches. Now, this is an important message, in my opinion, to all the fathers that are also traders out there. I am speaking from experience, but something struck a nerve when I recently spoke with someone as it relates to their significant other in their role or position in the stock market. Too often, right? I think us as traders, especially if we've been at it for a while, or we're just trying to lock in to get everything figured out. We think that we're only spending a couple minutes or maybe an hour or whatever in this market, but in reality, I really need for everybody do what you're gonna do, but self-awareness is very important. And sometimes we have other people that may or may not choose to kind of like check us, right? And snap us back to reality, get us out of that trading matrix, right? But you have to understand, at what point do you load up the charts, whether it's on your phone or your computer or whatever? And then from what point, if it's in the morning, how many hours do you think you're actually looking at the charts? Rather it's looking, trading, whatever. You might trade, you might take 2 to 3 trades, maybe 4 trades in a day, but are you still staring at the charts? Are you still glued to your phone, right? Are you living in the discords, right? I say that because I know our hearts are in the right place. Our forward thinking is in the right place. We want generational wealth. We want financial freedom. We want to make sure that we are providing the best life that we possibly can for our loved ones, especially those that come from nothing. You just know what it feels like to be broke. And we're so determined to just stack up as much as we can so we can increase that distance between broke and rich, right? But by doing that, sometimes I feel like we might be, or we could be, losing sight on the very thing that we're sacrificing for, that we're fighting for. My channel is called Sacrifice for Riches. You're giving up something to go up, right? But the one thing that we can't give up on, whether we know it or not, is our family, our kids, our wife, right? Because those are the very people that we're looking to do this for. But I guess what I'm trying to say is make sure, and I need to check myself with this too sometimes, carve out time, right? Carve out time, right? In reality, I mean, that should be priority. But at the same time, we have our mission, right? We have our goals and our ambitions, and we want to work towards those freedoms. But we have to make sure that when we are with our family, we are present. I need to check myself sometimes too. Sometimes my wife is talking and I'm looking at my phone, right? That's not okay. I need to check myself, right? But the one position that I cherish the most is being a father, right? And nothing is better, in my opinion. There's no job better than being a dad, and I'll take that to the grave. Absolutely love my 2 queens, my 2 princesses and my queen. And I know you love yours too, but trust me when I say, when you're distracted, it's noticeable. When you're in your phone and people are trying to have a conversation with you, it's noticeable. Even if nothing's going on in your environment, maybe you're just chilling and the TV's on and people are, your family's eating and everybody's like doing something, some task or playing around, but you're locked in your phone. It's noticeable, right? I think I'm encouraging, especially the dads out there, I'm encouraging you to put it down, leave it in another room, look up, and then just absorb and observe what you see. Because what you see is the joy and the freedoms that you have, right? And you see who you're fighting for, who you're doing this for. That is motivation, right? I know you don't think you lost sight of that. You haven't lost sight of that, but the people around you, right? They may see what you're doing as an addiction instead of something that's supposed to give you more time, right? The stock market, the trading game or whatever, we run to it because it's supposed to give us more time, more freedom, more flexibility, right? To do what we want, when we want, however we want, right? But I think some traders, some fathers, some husbands, some boyfriends, whatever, right? Girlfriends. Oh, yeah, I'm talking to everybody, but this Father's Day, I think that we are replacing our 9 to 5 with a 6 to midnight, right? Like we can't do that, y'all. Remember, it only takes one trade, technically a day, to change your life. It only takes minimum time in this market to actually make money. So stop choosing to live and become a slave to these charts. Get out of the matrix. Enjoy your time. Find a hobby, right? Get out of the house. Do something, right? Because there's life beyond the charts, okay? And you can't sacrifice that, right, to just because you see something better in the future, right? Don't ignore those things. Keep them front facing, because those are the very things that should be motivating you, right? Go fishing, go golfing, go somewhere, take your kids somewhere, whatever, right? And then when you're there, imagine how it would be if you can just do it anytime you want, right? Imagine how it would be if you can just go on a trip on a weekend and without a second thought, right? Imagine the freedom and the flexibility you can have if we're able to capitalize on the opportunities that we have, right? You don't need to live in the market. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Shout out to all the mothers and the spouses or whatever, right? The significant others, to these dads or these gentlemen that's really supporting us, right? Really not trying to talk us away from this game, but also keeping us grounded, making sure that we have a foundation at home and that just supports us and understands the mission and the grind, right? Because if they didn't, right, we'd be alone, and that's not okay. And that defeats the purpose of why we do this. So that's all I got. This is Stocks for Rail. This is Sacrifice for Riches, aka this is a podcast, and this is the message for the fathers. All right, that's all I got. Take care.